Hey, hi everyone. Very good evening. Hi Jagdish. Hi Pranav. Good evening. Yes, my voice is loud and clear to you all. Let's confirm everyone. All right. Great. So let us get started then. So I think we are on day 3 of this everyday learning program of artificial intelligence program with ExcelR. So let us do a quick recap and then we can get into today's topic. So before I get into today's topic, can anyone do a recap or just post it on the chat box? What are the things we have discussed in yesterday's session? What are the topics that we have covered in yesterday's session? Harshing IDE, okay. IDE shortcuts, yes. Srisha, life cycle of a data scientist. About artificial intelligence, basic Python, and a navigator. So what is the life cycle of a data scientist? Great, Vidya Sagar, Jagdish, yes. Life cycle of a data scientist. You can take time. I will be giving you 1 to 2 minutes time. I want the complete flow of life cycle of a data scientist, not one by one thing on the chat box. Life cycle of a data scientist. Everyone, I would expect everyone to respond on the chat box. I think if you're watching live on YouTube, you can also post it over there. Life cycle of a data scientist. Arpit, you can take time, Arpit. Data collection in the sense. First, what is the point? Okay, data collection, okay. You can give all the answers in one answer, means one message. All right. So Arshad, business understanding, data collection, okay. Data understanding, data presentation, okay. Model building, training, testing. Wonderful, Arshad, you got the flow. Moin, data collection, understanding, data preparation, model building, training, testing, evaluation, deployment, maintenance. Wonderful, Moin. Excellently covered all the points. Rishikesh, wonderful, tried it. Pranav, identification, research, data validation, monitoring data. Wonderful, Pranav. Hush, wonderful, Hush. Arpit, great. Jagdish, data collection, database creation, understanding the data, segregation of data, creating rules and programs based on the application, model building, testing, application, and maintenance. Wonderful. I think everybody got it. Wonderful, Vidyasagar. So the next question is nothing but what is the difference between waterfall methodology and agile methodology? If I'm saying a person is working in an agile environment, what is the difference between this? Waterfall versus agile. Okay, mine is given. Wonderful, Harsh. Rishikesh, waterfall, one shot method. Vidyasagar Gate. Wonderful, Govardhan. Wonderful, great. Waterfall is sequential model. Is waterfall sequential model, Pranav? Once think it. In Agile, we give daily update of the wonderful, great. Yep. So everybody got this point. Great. So now the next question. So in intelligence, I think yesterday we learned about a human way of learning and machine way of learning. So in machine way of learning, how exactly the intelligence is coming over there, how we can give the intelligence to a machine? How we can give intelligence to a machine? Automation, okay. Sri Srisha, great Sri Srisha. I got the first answer from Sri Srisha. Rule based and data driven based. So by using rule based and data driven based approach, anything we can give it. So all the time we are not looking for rule based intelligences. So right, if else condition itself, sometimes it is sufficient. So by going with rule based and data driven based, so we can give intelligence to the machines. Wonderful. Right. And what are the different IDEs available for Python? Can you just list down few IDEs? What is an IDE and what are the different IDEs that we have discussed yesterday? Pranav, great Pranav, Vidyasagar, great. Aditi Patel, wonderful. Arpit, Astosh, integrated, wonderful. Astosh, Aditya, great. Pavani, wonderful. Why we are, how we need to choose between Jupyter Notebook and all the other IDEs? What is the differentiating factor? Great, Astosh. Why we are working with Jupyter Notebook? Sadik, Vaibhav, and Ravi, I could see that you're raising your hands, but let's all use this common platform that is chat box. You can post your answers on the chat box since it is getting streamlined over there at the YouTube. So let's make use of this chat box. Hope you can understand it. So Jupyter Notebook just okay. If Jupyter Notebook and everything, Pranav will get the output, but the major differentiating factor is nothing but um, it is Harsh has covered it right. For learning purpose, we are going with Jupyter. For building any applications, we need to choose with PyCharm and the other IDEs. Wonderful. So these are all the few points which we have to basic things, basic foundations which we have to focus on. I think that's what we have covered yesterday. Jupyter programs are single-lined and easy to execute and check every line. PyCharm and complete, okay, PyCharm and complete compiled program can be executed at once for application. Right, Jagdish. Even in other IDs also, we can go with line bail and execution. But this Jupyter Notebook will be giving me the. It is a beautiful ID. It is an interface, good interface. What we are having it. So line bail and we can script it, and easy for us to learn from the mistakes whatever we are doing. Wonderful. And did I give any task yesterday for you all to work on? What is the task for yesterday? Explore all the options in the Jupyter Notebook. Yes, to explore Jupyter Notebook, shortcut keys in Jupyter. Have you all practiced that? Harsh, yes. Dhyaneshwar, wonderful. Aditya, Jagdish, Adakuri, Moin, yes. Wonderful. If you have not practiced that, again, this session is going to be a bit painful for you. Why? Because again, I'm not going to repeat whatever the shortcuts I've told yesterday. I'm simply going to type the number and I'm just going to get into the programming part. So if you're just watching only the videos, so it is not going to help you out. So in case if you have not practiced it, make sure from today onwards, I will be giving you tasks. Okay. The tasks will take at least 3 to 4 hours to complete. If you are from a non-programmer, it will take 3 to 4 hours. If you are a programmer already, within 1 hour, you can just complete it. But in case if you're working with the tasks, whatever I'm giving, the same task I used to give it for my AI learners and data science learners who are enrolling with ExcelR. So they are able to complete it. But the time, because since most of the people are from mechanical background and civil background, so they will be giving 4 to 6 hours time. That's what even whenever I ask them, how much time did you spend to complete it? They would say, I did not sleep even the night. I worked on it. I tried to make sure within the given time I have to submit it. So that should be the mindset that we have to have. So I'm expecting the same mindset from you all. So let us take this 20 days of program more effective. Even though it is free, let us make it as more effective. And it completely depends on you how you're practicing it on the daily given tasks. So make sure you're working on a regular basis with the daily given tasks. So that would make sure that you can cope up with me along this 20 days of program. Or else from today onwards, it is going to be completely programming part. Okay. Wasim, no, I couldn't install Anaconda as I have Windows 7. So Windows 7, is it not compatible? It's okay, fine. Wasim, you can work with Collab then. Okay, Google Colab, it should be fine. And in Google Colab, you can't expect some shortcuts. Directly, you have to work with code and everything. Shift enter, at least you have to go with. All right. The shortcuts, whatever we learned yesterday, it's only for Jupyter Notebook, not for your other IDs. Is my voice is not coming up properly? Why is that, Moin? Is my voice is not clear to everyone? Moin, I'm not sharing the screen, Dhyaneshwar. Moin, it's for others, it's very clear and loud. Once check your microphone if you're using it, or else if you're, if you're not using microphone, I would suggest to use microphone. It is, I think it is loud and clear. Fine. Let us get into today's session. Let me do a quick recap. In the day one, we learned about uh, how exactly this particular program would go and what is this particular, let me share this one. So we discussed about what is a brief history of AI and from where it all got started and what is the terminology differences we have, the differences between data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing and things like that. We discussed it, and then we got to understand about the roadmap in order to become a successful AI engineer or a data scientist. So what is a path that we have to go for and how we have to learn? I think I've given the roadmap to you all. And yesterday we got into this life cycle of a data scientist where we it all started from business understanding, data collection, data understanding, data preparation, model building, model test training, model testing, model evaluation, and then model deployment, and then model maintenance. So this is a life cycle that we have seen yesterday and the different IDs we have seen. And I think I've shown you the basics of what would be the agenda of this Python programming part from the basics, how we are going to take it into. So that's what I've shown yesterday. And some shortcuts we learned. So in today we are on day 3 now. Let me share this agenda again to you all. Once take a look at it. So now I'm sharing the screen. See this. So this is the agenda what we had looked into yesterday. Chapter 1, first Python programming, hello world. From here we are going to get started, and today we are going to complete till chapter 4, I think so. We'll try our best to complete, and I would be checking with you, and I would be teaching, and then if you have any queries, I will be, after completing each and every chapter, I will be looking into all your queries. Okay, now let's all open up our Jupyter Notebook. Okay, I'm not explaining again how to open the Jupyter Notebook. Let's all open up the Jupyter Notebook. If you don't know how to open it, just stop it here, go back and watch yesterday's recording, come back and join today's session. That would help you all. So let me share this. So see this. So this is my Jupyter Notebook, which I have opened. And this is the file name which I've given. Some copy files and everything I've created yesterday. Deleting it. So now I'm not explaining the shortcuts. I'm assuming that everybody practiced that. So now this cell, I wanted to make it as a markdown cell. So I'm just creating this as chapter 1. It is nothing but the first chapter name is, we can give it as a first Python programming language. Let's give that name to it. First Python program. All right. Now, within this, I'm expecting everyone, you can work along with me. All right, I would be giving some time. You can work along with me. You can type it and parallelly you can just listen to this lecture. See this, first Python programming is nothing but here again, I would be giving a small title here, 1.1. It is nothing but, it is a hello world program. Okay, that is nothing but, see this. Now I'm just going to use something. I think everybody are familiar with this print function, right? In our colleges and schools, we use this print function in all the programming languages. So now I'm using this print function. Since it is a function, I'm opening and closing with. Whenever I say function, we have to open and close with this parenthesis. We call it as a parenthesis. Now within this, whatever I'm just typing, it will get printed. See this, if it is a number, directly you can just give this number. It will be shift enter I'm giving, I'm able to see this. In case if it is a text, if I wanted to print, I'm using this print, which is a function. If it is a function, I need to open and close with this parenthesis. What is the function and everything, we will be learning it in a while, but let's go with this flow. So now within this function, print, I wanted to print some statement like this. Let's say here I'm having, let's say Moin is performing great in AI EDL program. Okay, this is what I wanted to print it. Okay, this is what I wanted to print. Now what I'm doing, I'm just doing shift enter, but this is not taking in. This is giving a syntax problem, invalid syntax. So what is the problem here is nothing but whenever I wanted to print a statement, so we have to take it within quotes. Okay, so I'm just going to give single quotes here. Single quotes here. So now whatever I'm just typing it here, it got printed. All right, it got printed. Now the next statement, I wanted to print this. That is here I'm able to see Harsh is here. Let's say I wanted to say Harsh replied. Say Harsh replied. Maybe I want to say John is going pretty. Session is okay. So let's say John session is okay. Let's say EDL program is okay. All right, it's somewhat okay. Let's say somewhat okay. AI EDL program is somewhat okay. Okay, this is what I wanted to print. Now here I'm using single quotes and again single quotes. See this? I'm using the single quotes. Like here, I just used the single quotes and I've taken all the statements. Now again, I'm using single quotes. And again, here also I'm using single quote. Let me give shift and enter. Now I'm able to see this. This single quotes has completed here itself. Now, whatever you give the other side, it is not a proper syntax. But what I wanted is nothing but I wanted to print, that is, whenever we are typing this English languages, whenever we are doing it. So we used to do this, right? So that is, let me copy this. We used to type this reply. This is how we used to give it, right? This is how we used to give it. In double quotes, I wanted to print it. So let's say replied in this way, I have to take it. Okay, in this way, I have to take it. Harsh replied, AI EDL program is somewhat okay. Now, the point here is nothing but in case if you wanted to use a single quotes inside your print statement, what we can do is nothing but better take the outside, better take double quotes outside your print statement. Sorry, enclose your complete English statement with double quotes. Now see this, you're able to see this particular part. Harsh replied, a artificial intelligence EDL program is somewhat okay. Okay, let me take it here. It's somewhat okay, and let me give a full stop. So now the point here is nothing but when you know that you will be using single quotes inside your print statement, take your complete English statement within double quotes outside. That is point number one. Now the next thing is nothing but let me use print. Mm, let me again use double quotes. Here I wanted to print this. That is, I wanted to print Harsh replied John's session is pretty boring. Okay, let's make it like this. Not sure how many of you are feeling this, but I'm just making this. See this, now here I'm able to see I will be using double quotes. I will be using double quotes and single quotes in my print statement. When I know already that I will be using double quotes and single quotes within my print statement, what do I do is nothing but see this. I need to take this complete information print. I need to take this complete, see this, if I'm just using this single quotes, if you're taking it outside, it is an invalid syntax. All right. You are taking, you are enclosing everything within single quotes, right? You are taking everything within single quotes. Again, it is a syntax problem. This will not work like this. So when you know that you will be using double quotes, see double quotes and single quotes within your print statement, try to take it within triple quotes outside. Triple quotes and triple quotes. Now see this. Harsh replied, John's session is pretty boring. So now if you look onto it, I got the single quotes and double quotes here. So this is how you need to choose between single quotes, double quotes, and triple quotes. In English sentences, we never go with triple quotes inside. Inside any English, whenever we are writing it, we don't go more than double quotes. So we stop it over here. You need to go with how you have to choose between single quotes, double quotes, and triple quotes. In case if you know that you won't use any uh, apostrophes or single quotes within your print statement, you go with single quotes. In case if you know that you will be using single quotes within your print statement, go with the double quotes outside. In case if you know that you will be using single quotes and double quotes within your print statement, you can go with this print statement. And also one more point to be noted, in case if you wanted to give, let's say print, let me take whether new something. Okay, now what I wanted is nothing but, let's say I wanted to print copying this, copying this. Let me come back. There are multiple lines which I'm able to have. All right. So this one I wanted to print it. Let me use double quotes. See this. This is a print statement. I'm not using single quotes or double quotes here, right? So within this statement, I'm not having any single quotes or double quotes, but I'm having multiple lines. So whenever you wanted to go with multiple lines in this way, if you wanted to print it, again, you have to go with triple quotes. Triple quotes, I'm just giving you 2 points. Try to take it within triple quotes. Okay, now see this, we got it. So the point here is nothing but, again, let me repeat it. Let me do a recap. So when you don't wanted to use single quotes and double quotes within your print statement, enclose your English statement with single quotes. And when you'll be using single quotes and single quotes within your print statement, enclose your print statement with double quotes. When you know that you will be using single quotes and double quotes inside your English statement, enclose your statement with triple quotes outside. And the second point for triple quotes is when you wanted to write a paragraph kind of things, enclose within triple quotes. So this is how you will be. And if it is a number, you don't need to give single quotes and everything. Up to this clear? Any questions? You can ask me now. If it is clear, you can just give me clear on the chat box. Wonderful, great. So now let's move on to the next one. That is, this is a very important, create a variable. 1.2, it is create a variable. Let me give this particular title here. Now, this one is 1.2. Create a variable. Again, I'm not explaining this, how I'm creating and everything. If you were thinking how I created it, again, you missed yesterday's session. Go back, watch the recording and come back to today's session. Okay, so now create a variable. Now, what is this particular variable? Here I'm able to see this. I'm able to see, let me create one variable here. That is, I'm just going to create one double square brackets. We call it as a list. What is this list and everything? Day after tomorrow, maybe next Monday, we will be learning it. Next Monday or tomorrow, yes, tomorrow we'll be learning about it. We call it as a data structure. I'm just going to take use the square brackets. We call this a list. Now I'll be taking, let's say, Mohammed. Amu, and I'm able to say Leelavadi. All right, and I'm able to have Aditya and Sania. So these are all my a few of the learners. I just picked some of you all. So these are all my few of my learners, right? And all these learners has been placed where? All right, Shodi, thank you so much. See this. So now Mohammed, Amol, Leelavadi, Aditya. So these are my learners. So now what I'm doing, I'm just going to take this one. If you look onto this chat box, sorry, if you look onto here, this particular Zoom window, here are able to have participants, right? Participants. Let me store it into participants. Now, all these values, right? We call this a right-hand side. This is an equal to operator. The right hand side we call it as values and the left hand side we call it as variables. Now all these values has been contained in one something called as participants, which is nothing but a container. If you look onto this Zoom window, here you're able to see participants. That name itself, it is a container which holds all of your names. So participants is a container which holds all of your names. And the similar way what I've done, I have created this all the container, means all the values, and I've just stored into one container called as participants. Now, let me see this participants again. If you're just doing shift enter, I'm just going shift and enter. So this values got stored into this variable. We call it as a variable. Now, if you wanted to print a variable, see this, I'm just typing PART since it got, so this variables, it will be still stored in this temporary memory. All right, we call it a cache memory. I think you all know what is this cache memory. Cache memory is nothing but it's a temporary storage unit. Now this temp participants, now what I'm doing, PART, and then I'm just typing tab button. All right, PART, I'm just typing tab buttons. So whatever the variables or whatever the things available within PART, it will just automatically popped up. Now I've just pressed on tab button, I just got it. Now I wanted to see what it is available in participants. Now I'm just going to shift enter. Now see this, Mohammed, Amol, Leelavadi, Aditya, Sania. So whatever the values I stored in this container, that is a variable, I got it. Now why we have to create a variable? We have to know. Now see this, participants. What I want to do is nothing, but this is something we call it as a data manipulation. Now, what I wanted is nothing, but let's say here I'm having Dr. Leelavadi. So I wanted to select only this Mohammed. Okay, I wanted to select only this Mohammed. So now, whenever we are in the sessions or whenever we are in the classrooms, our teachers or our faculty used to address this. First row, second student. Can you just stand up and answer to this question? That's how they address us. Or what are the other ways? Roll number 13, what whole? So can you explain that? Or roll number 26, can you explain this? So our our maths teacher, he used to come and he used to randomly pick some person and he used to ask, hey, can you explain this part? So this is something like randomly choosing this number. So for, let's say if I'm just calling Amol, there would be some random number for Amol. Let's say it's a registration number or whatever it is. The similar way, each and every values here, it is having a position. So in Python, the index number, we call this an index number. In the index number starts with 0. Very important point. I might ask this question tomorrow. In Python, the index number starts with 0. That is, the position number starts with 0. So the position of Mohammed is 0. The position of Amol is 1. The position of Leela is 2. It is 3 and it is 4. Now I wanted to take the position of 2. Okay. For the position of 2, I'm using square bracket. Let me repeat it. So the square bracket is for data filtering. Data filtering, or we can say data manipulation. Data filtering or data manipulation. Now what I want to do is nothing, but I have to take out this index number 2. If I'm just typing it out, so which one I will be getting it? Which name I will be getting it here? One check on to it, mine. Is it Amol? Great. I think everybody answered. It is Leelavadi, right? 0th index, first index, and second index, right? So let me give shift enter. You got it. Now, wonderful. Now I wanted to select from Amol to Aditya. Okay, now I wanted to print from Amol to Aditya. It's a kind of range I wanted to print it. So now what I'm doing again, participants. Now which bracket I have to use? Again, it is a data filtering, right? Data filtering is nothing but you can imagine, let's say Aruba is celebrating her birthday. Right, so there is a birthday celebration. So all of our friends have brought this birthday cake, and they used to come and give in front of Aruba, and birthday celebration is happening. Now post birthday celebration, cake cutting will happen. It is nothing but what, from the entire cake we are slicing some portion so that we can consume it or we can distribute it. So the similar way, it is an entire cake. So now I wanted to slice it for my requirement. Why do I have to do this kind of things? There is something which will be useful in the machine learning session, so there I will be explaining in detail, but take it as an exercise what we are doing now. Here it will not make sense, or here you might not they can get the complete picture where we are going to apply, because it's the first session here, but take it as an exercise. Everything, it will be something new to you all. So now what I wanted here is nothing but I wanted to slice this portion from Amol to Leelavadi. It is coming under data filtering. So for data filtering or data manipulation, we have to use which bracket? Square bracket or parenthesis? It's a square bracket. Great. So now I'll be using square bracket. Now I will be giving a colon. All right. See this. If you just give a colon, what will happen is nothing but all the elements or all the values present inside this variable, it will get printed. Now what I wanted is nothing but I wanted to start from this position. The position number of this Amul is what? What is the position of Amul? It is 1. Right. So I will be giving 1. And what is the position of Aditya? If I wanted to print till Aditya, what is the position of Aditya? It is 3. Great. But if you give 3, it will print till Amol and Leelavadi. It is nothing but inside this console, it will consider 1 less than 3, which is nothing but if it is 1 less than 3, I will be printing only 1 and Leelavadi, right? Means it is 1 and 2. Yes, it is n minus 1. Always the last number, it is nothing but we have to, in case if you wanted to print till Aditya, we have to add one number to it. So that is 4. You can think of, hey, print the number 1 less than 5. If you're just giving it, what would be the numbers that will be printed? 1, 2, 3, 4. It is nothing but the last number you're just adding by 1. The similar way, whenever you're giving the range also, you have to give it 1, 4, and the last number, it should be n plus 1 basically. So now if we give 4, Amul, Leelavati, Aditi, I got it. So this we call it as a slicing. Now again, I wanted to do, let's say this Sania position, I have to change it to some other name. So participants. So what is the position of Sania? 4. So this position, I'm just giving equal to, I would like to change with Dhanalakshmi. All right. So now this fourth index, it need to be replaced with Dhanalakshmi. Now this Dhanalakshmi will be stored in this fourth index. Let me give shift enter. Now participants. Now if you see, it got changed. Now my point is nothing but, if you have not created this variable, are you able to do this kind of slicing and this changing the variable, the positions and everything? Is it possible? If you have not created this variable, is it possible to do this data manipulation? No, not possible. So the point here is nothing but the starting point. That's why whenever we are reading any data sets into this Jupyter Notebook or any working environment, we try to store it into a variable, so that with that variable name, we try to go for data manipulation. That's how it works internally with the machine learning. So that is the importance of, that's the reason why we are creating a variable. So now that's all this 1.2 that is done. So what is this listings and everything, tomorrow we'll be getting into it. All right. So we have completed how to use a print statement, how we have to choose between single quotes, double quotes, and triple quotes. And then we understood the purpose of variable. Why we need a variable, we understood it. Now let me go to the next chapter. Before that, is the first chapter clear? Can I get quick yes or no on the chat box, or clear on the chat box? We can go to the next one. Wonderful, great, Crystal. Okay, fine. So let's move on to this chapter 2. It is nothing but string and string methods. Okay, let us create this string and string methods. I'm just going to divide it. Chapter 2. String and string methods. So now for this, I will be giving you one thing, 1 minute. You can paste it. Yes, Prabhu, right. You're perfectly right. In case if anyone have not practiced the shortcuts, it's going to be very difficult today. And all the shortcuts, it's only with respect to this Jupyter Notebook itself. See this, I'm just pasting something on the chat box. Try. Pavani, yes, I will be coming to that, Pavani, maybe tomorrow, sometime back. Here, the major scope is nothing but trying to explain the importance of variable. That's it. Sorry, I think I pasted to Pavani only. Once check it, everyone. Or you are able to copy this and paste it here. Once check it out. Now, now what I'm doing, I'm just clicking on this. Click on this drop down, and you can click on this markdown. Or what you can do, you can click on the cell and immediately click on this M button, so that it will be a markdown cell. I'm just pressing this Control V. That's it. Or you are able to copy and paste it here within your Jupyter Notebook. Supraja, I think everybody are able to copy it. Copy and paste it into your Jupyter Notebook. Manohar, my Python is different from your Python. Yes, yes, Manohar, because better try to stick with Jupyter Notebook. If you missed yesterday's session, again, it is not going to be beneficial today. That's the reason I asked you to stick with one notebook here. If you're using multiple IDs, again, it is going to be pretty nice. But again, anyway, you can just, the scripts and everything, you can do it with the other IDs. This copy paste and everything, you can't do that. That's the major thing. All right. So let me get into it. See this. There are different data types in Python. One is integer, float, and string. Integer is nothing but numbers without any decimal values. We call it as integer. Float is nothing but numbers with the decimal values. We call it as float. String is nothing but anything which is enclosed within quotes. We call it as a string. So now let me give it. So here I'm having, let's say Manohar. Manohar scores. Or let's say Manohar marks. So Manohar marks is, let's say it is 87. So what is the data type of this Manohar marks? What is the data type of Manohar marks? Integer string. Okay, now I'm just getting mixed answers. So to know the data type of this, see this, look onto it carefully. To know the data type of this Manohar, what you can do, just go with type, which is a function. Wonderful, Ibrahim. Type. Within that, you can just paste this Manohar. I'm just giving MAN and then giving tab button. I'm able to see it is string. It is not integer. Look onto this point very carefully. String is nothing but anything which is enclosed within quotes, we call it as a string. All right. So here I've just given it's a number. Number has been enclosed within single quotes. Anyway, it is a string. In case if I'm just taking it out, now it becomes what? Now what is the data type of Manohar? Manohar marks? Integer. Let's check with that. It is an integer. Now, what is it? Now what is the data type of Manohar marks? There is no decimal data type. There is float data type. Okay, with the decimal values. Wonderful, everyone. So these are all the three data types with respect to Python we have to know. And how we have to copy and paste it is nothing but Control C and Control V. That's it. So this one I just clicked on Control C. You can click Control C from your chat box and just I just clicked onto it. See this? I just came over here, Control V. That's what I did. Okay, that's fine. So now we got to know what are all the different data types here. Now specifically, we are going to look into string for one particular reason. Okay, so now what is this? The first chapter here is nothing but what is a string has been covered. Now let's get into the second chapter, concatenation, indexing, and slicing. Okay, this is the second chapter. Sorry, within second chapter, the second division. So now here, let me give a name. 2.1. What is a string? We covered. Concatenation, indexing, slicing. Okay, now see this. Here I'm having, let's say, first name is equal to, I'm having here Sutar, and last name is equal to, I'm having Arun. Okay, Sutar Arun. So now in one cell, I've just taken Sutar and Arun in F name and L name. I just given shift enter. Now I wanted to see F name. If I'm just giving F name, I'm getting this F name here, Sutar. Now in the new line, I wanted to see. So here I'm expecting Sutar and Arun need to be printed here. The output should be 2 lines. So what do I need to do in case if I wanted to print F name and L name here within this output window? The problem here is nothing but the last variable, it is getting printed. but I wanted to print what is stored in this F name. It need to get printed, and also what got stored in L name, that also need to get printed. For that, what do I need to do is nothing but I have to enclose. See, this is what I can do. This something we can give a comma, and this also we can do a printing. We can give a comma and we can print it. But here, what is happening here with respect to comma, to Sutar and Arun, it got separated. That's not which I'm expecting. So now what I wanted is nothing but let me print. See this, in case if I wanted to print to answer the first question, if you want to print two things, that is F name, Sutar got printed, and L name, Arun got printed. So Sutar and Arun, F name, and so two variable names, whatever the values got stored into this variable, it got printed. Now my next question is nothing but I have to combine the Sutar and Arun, and I want to print it. That is F name, L name. I wanted to print this. So Sutar and Arun, it is two separate things, values which I'm able to see, but it shouldn't be like that. Should be combined and it need to get printed. So for that, in case if you wanted to do, I will be using print statement. Okay, print statement, and I'll be using this plus, and I'll be using it. Now see this, Sutar and Arun got combined. Okay, now this plus operator, we call it as it is a very intelligent operator, because if you're just using this 89 plus 67, here it acts as an addition operator, right? So, but in case if you're just giving it for a string, right, it is a string now. So string, it is going to combine it. So when in place of, if you're using this plus operator to combine the strings, we call it as concatenation. You're combining two strings variable together, we call it a concatenation. Now what I want to do, so in between Sutar and Arun, I'm expecting one space. Okay, so to do that, what I'm doing, F name got printed. After printing the Sutar, I wanted to give one space. So what I wanted, I'm just giving a plus, and then within single quotes or double quotes, I'm just giving a plus. And after the space, again I have to combine this L name. Now see this, Sutar and there is one space, and Arun got printed. In between here, if you say there is a space, this is not something important. All right, so we can also print like this. This also is fine. The point here is nothing but for better alignment, I'm just giving a space between F name, and then I'm giving a space for alignment purpose. This is not making any significant role. This space will not get printed here. F name, for alignment purpose, I'm giving a space, and then again for alignment purpose, here I just given a space. And again, after printing this F name, Sutar, I wanted to give one space. So print is a function, right? So anything if you give within single quotes, it will get printed. So now I'm creating one double quotes, single quotes, and then I've given a space here. After the space, this need to be concatenated with L name. So now if I'm saying this, Sutar and Arun got printed. So this we call it as a string concatenation. All right. Now, why we are not taking this F name within single quotes? Because already it got stored into this variable F name. So in case if you are taking this, how are you able to write concat? Okay, this is hash symbol. Hash symbol is a comment line. Comment line, that's it. To comment this particular line, this will never get executed. To comment one particular line, that's it. So this is we call it a concatenation. So F name, it is a variable name. That is what I wanted to print it. So you don't need to take it within single quotes. In case if you're taking with the single quotes, that F name will get printed. This F name will get printed. See this? F name will get printed. That is not something which we wanted. So I'm not taking within single quotes. String concatenation. Now what I want to do, let's say I'm just going to add age here. Age is equal to, let's say, age of Sutar Arun is, let's say it is 23. Okay, 23. Now what I'm doing, again, along with that, plus, I wanted to give a space. All right. And then after this plus, I wanted to print this age. Now, if you're just using the shift enter, it is going to throw in error. What is the error? It says can only concatenate string to a string. It cannot concatenate string to an integer. Now, what is the data type of age here? It is integer. So we cannot combine when the F name is a string. So we can combine or concatenate string to a string. Now you're concatenating string to an integer. That is not possible with respect to this concatenation operator. Now, how can we do that? The error itself says it is string to an integer. It is not possible. So from the mistakes, I'm learning, okay, now we can't do that. So now so the problem is nothing but age is an integer. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to do something called as typecasting, str, string function. I'm just going to take this age I'm just going to convert this age to string here. Now see this 23 we got printed. So this part we call it as typecasting. Typecasting. Now, what does this typecasting means? Converting one variable, sorry, converting one data type to another data type. We call it the typecasting for the purpose of our use cases. So now I want there is a mistake here. The problem is here this plus operator, it does not taking, it is not combining a string to an integer. Okay, there is a mistake which is not able to do it. Now what I have to do, I have to correct this. So to correct this, the problem itself says string to integer. So now what I'm doing, I'm taking this age, I'm typecasting into string so that it will be treated as a string within the print function. Now, but if I'm just checking this age outside, the data type of age outside the cell, it would be integer. Outside it would be integer, but within this, it is a string here. Able to understand this point? Why I've done this typecasting is that point clear? Wonderful, great. So this is what, and now see this. Great, everyone. Thanks for responding. So see this, but instead of this, using this plus operator and giving the space, there is another way also. See this print. I wanted to say f name, comma l name, comma age. That's it. So there are 23. So this plus operator, it is just giving me a confusion, right? Even we can say it is a confusion, or it is sometimes it is not. There is a restriction. That is, it can only take string with a string. It can't take a string with any other data types. So there is a restriction. But in case if you're going with this comma operator, there is no restriction. Directly, you can just give this comma and you can combine. And let it be any data type. You can combine any data types together. So mostly, whenever we are practice writing the scripts, we don't use this plus operator. That is concatenation. We don't use it. We directly go with this comma and we try to use it out. Okay, this is something which we need to note it down. All right. Now see this. Now what I want to do is nothing but the next point. Let's say Sutar here, since we are having only one variable, now I wanted to print only this t. Let me print this f name here. Okay. Now I wanted to print on this, just an exercise. So what I'm doing, I wanted to print only this t. So can you just give me the syntax or the script? I want to print only this t. Minas. Wonderful, Minas. Great. I want to print only this t. Can I get quick response? Okay, hush. Oh, everybody got it. Is it print to? One check it out. I'm expecting the complete script, Pranav. F name, square bracket, 2, right? 0th index, first index, and second index. I got it, right? Now, I wanted to print from SUTHA till A, I want to print it. Can you give me the script? Ibrahim, yes, we can also do that. Ibrahim, it is, no, that is not the right thing. One check it out. Sania, can you give me the complete script? I want to print from SUTHEA. How does this 1, 2, 3, 4? Srisha, complete syntax problem, Srisha. I'll check it out. I'm expecting the right syntax. And also Vidyasagar syntax problem. Just give me the good correct syntax. Wasim syntax. No, I'm not expecting 0 to 5. Go with again syntax problem. Okay. So everybody are saying f name 0, comma, sorry, colon 4. What about A? Again, I think everybody missed this indexing part, right? 0th index, first index, second, 3, 4. I said till A, so the last number it should be n plus 1. So we have to give 5. Till A we got it. All right. Wonderful, Basim. Great. Now, instead of giving this, we call it as a positive indexing. All right, this we call it as positive indexing. Now, what I wanted to do is nothing, but instead of this positive indexing, instead of giving 0 to 0, comma, in even we don't need to give the 0. By default, the starting position, it will be 0 itself, so you don't need to give it if it is a starting point. Now, what we can do is nothing, but instead of that, f name colon -1. The last number I'm just giving -1. This we call it as negative indexing. Negative indexing. Negative indexing is nothing but what I'm saying. Hey, I want all the elements, because if you just give simply this colon, it says that what all the values it will get printed. Now, what I'm saying, I want to print all the values except the last value. Okay, -1. See this? It got printed. If you're just giving -2, you'll be getting SUTH. That's what you will be getting. If you're just giving -3, see this? This is what negative indexing is all about. So we have to know that in positive indexing also we can do the filtering, and negative indexing also we can do the filtering. Bushra, explain to fname 2. I think we have already done that, Bushra. It is a filtering part. Pick up the second index. That's it. 0th index, first index, and second index. That's what I want to take it out. So I'm just printing it. So positive indexing, negative indexing. Is that clear, everyone? Once again for me. Concatenation, indexing, and slicing. That's the chapter. Prabhu, it is colon -1, which means that I wanted to print all the values except the last one. Sania wants to explore it. I'm just giving that part for your exercise. We can do that, but I just want you to explore and come up with the answer. There is a lot of ways which we can do. Prabhu, if I want to print f -1, check out Prabhu. Whatever you are asking me, once try it out. Once try it out and see, you will be getting the answer. Sutar, again, copy that question, paste it in the internet, you will be getting it. All right. This is something basic. I'm not going something complex here, but the questions you can just try to get it from the internet. How to print the reverse? Okay, I think everybody are getting the same question. See this? There is something like there is something we can do like this. All right. So this and everything, this is we can. I'm just reversing it. So there is a lot of ways of doing this reverse and everything, but I wanted you to give a try by taking this base. You can just give a try on. This is one way of reversing this. Got it, Mohammed and everyone. For getting only T, we can use, yes, we can use that Ibrahim fname 2 to 3. That also we can do, yes. But if you wanted to pick up only one, why you need to give two numbers there? So we can go with the simplest method, right? Fine. I think I've answered to most of your queries. Now let's move on to the next one. That is manipulating string with string methods. Very, very important chapter. Manipulating string with string methods. This is 2.3. Manipulating string with string methods. That is, now here you're able, let me create this one. That is learner when I'm having, let's say I'm having Sutar and learner 2, I'm having, let's say, I'm having Sania, learner 3, let's say I'm having Prabhu, all right, Prabhu, learner 4, let's say I'm having, let me pick up minus. Okay, so I'm just storing all this variable here. Now, if you are checking length of learner 1, there is something called as length is a method. It's a method and function. We call this same thing. All right. So let me just give this particular point. Before this, let me give you this part also. It's just a terminology alert. Let me give that on the chat box. You can paste it there. Yes. So I can copy and paste it here. I'm just creating a new cell above it. Markdown. Just pasting it. All right. So terminology alert. That is nothing but. So here we are able to see. So if you see this terminology alert, that is methods and functions both are same. So sometimes I call it as a method, sometimes I call it as a function. Both terms are same thing. So it will get ended with double quotes. All right. Sorry, it will ended with double parenthesis here, open and close parenthesis. So whenever I say method or a function, it will be enclosed with open and close parenthesis. That is something which we have to focus on. Now length is a function. Now what is this? What is this particular function is going to do? It is going to perform, and also we can just add this point. It will perform. It will perform one operation on top of the variable. All right. It is going to perform an operation on top of the variable. Now see, this length is a function. What this function is going to do, since it is a function, I just enclosed with this open and close parenthesis. All right. So now what you need to, you can just give this shift tab. You can press your cursor within this length and function and just give shift tab. Now you're able to see this. So return the number of items in the container. See this? So return the number of items in the container. What it will do, it says it's a built-in function. Basically, there are different types of functions. So we'll be getting into that different types of functions in the next chapter. But the point here is nothing but length is a function. Now I wanted to know what this function is going to do. I'm placing my cursor here. You can just give shift triple tap, shift plus tab button 3 times. You will be getting this complete description box. You will understand this particular point. Return the number of items in the container. Now what I do is nothing but container is nothing but a variable name. Now I copy this. Let me paste it here. Now see, this length is nothing but 6. Totally how many characters I wanted to, I'm just having within this learner one, I'm able to see this. Okay. Now again, let me give a comma. Length of learner 2. What do you think the length of learner 2 is? What is the length of learner? How many characters? Yes, Ania, right. It is not 6, Pranav. That's why I just created many spaces. Purposefully, I created many spaces. Now see this. It is 15 characters. And here also I've given some spaces, right? Space will also get counted here. So in case if you're dealing with natural language processing, we have to perform this data cleaning basically. So this text data, it won't be completely clean sometimes. So what we do is nothing but we have to remove some unwanted spaces and we have to do that. So removing that manually, it is here it is something very easy, we can do it. But in a large data set, it is a very difficult part. So what we try to do, we'll be looking at it. So now here, if you see, again, what is the length of, let me give a comma, the length of learner. See this, I just kept LEA and then clicked on tab button. I got all the variable names which started with LEA and I just selected learner 3. Now it is 11, but actually it should be 6, but even the space is getting counted. Learner length of learner 4, it is again 6. So now what I wanted is nothing but, let's say I wanted to make this learner 1 where exactly Sutta is available, I wanted to make it as in upper cases. So basically, we'll be having a bigger paragraphs and everything. You wanted to make it as an upper cases. Let's say, let's assume that you wanted to make it as an upper cases. Now, what you can do here, I don't come back. Let's say a big paragraph, you got it. All right. Let's say it is having 10,000 paragraphs you're having in the text. Manually, you can't go and change every alphabets into upper cases. That is something very manual task and it will take a lot of time to do. So now what I do is nothing but, let me say learner one. What is the data type of learner one? What is the data type of learner one? It is a string, right? So what you can do, so just give str, which is a str string dot, just give tab button twice or thrice. You will be getting string related functions, capitalize, case fold, and these are all the different string functions which we have. And what is a function? A function is something which is going to perform an operation on top of a variable. That's what the definition which I've given to you. So now string is a function which is having all these things. Now what do you do? Learner one is a string. So Python understood whenever you are enclosed this variable within a single quote, it understood it's a string. Now if you give learner one dot tab button, all the string related functions you'll be getting it. Now here I'm able to have capitalize, case fold, encode. These are all the different functions here. If you scroll down, you'll be having something called as upper. Okay, upper. Now this is a function. String functions it is, or we can say string methods. Now if it is string function or a methods, you need to enclose with open and close parenthesis. All right, parenthesis. Now what this upper function is going to do, keep your cursor within this, and this give shift to triple tap or double tap, you will be getting this. It returns a copy of the string converted to upper cases. All right, and it's marked on this term built-in function. Built-in function is nothing but this upper cases, upper and lower, everything. It got automatically installed. This class definitions has been already written. What is this class definition? Again, in chapter 4, we'll be understanding that particular part. But for now, note down this particular term, built-in function. Okay. Now, upper function, what it will do? Shift triple tap. I'm getting it. Returns a copy of the function converted to upper cases. Now, what do I do? To take this window out, I'm just giving escape button and got out. Let me give shift tab. Now see this. It got converted to upper cases. Now what I want to do, let me say learner 2 dot tab button. See this, here I'm having unwanted spaces in the front and also the back side I'm having it. Now there is something called a strip function. If you scroll down, I'm just showcasing you some functions here. There is something called a strip function. All right. Since it's a function, we have to enclose with what? Function need to be enclosed with which bracket? Parenthesis or square brackets? Round brackets. Parenthesis, great. Now I'm just enclosing with parenthesis. Wonderful, everyone. See this, shift triple tap. What exactly this upper function is going to returns a copy of the string with leading and trailing white space removed. Wonderful, go with. Leading and trailing. Leading is nothing but the front one, and trailing is nothing but the back side. All right, let me execute it. See this? All unwanted space got removed. Now learner 3 dot tab button. Now in learner 3, I'm able to see the right hand side unwanted spaces there. You can use a strip function. It will be removed. Or what you can do, there is another function called R strip, basically right side strip, R strip. What this function is going to do, returns a copy of the string with a trailing white space removed. Trailing is nothing but the right hand side white space removed. Okay. Now let me just execute it. 1 minute. Now if you see, the right hand side has been removed. Okay. R strip, why I'm just using different functions just to showcase you that what exactly each and every function will do. Now in learner 4, you're having minus. Now what I want to do, learner 4, I wanted to make it as minus as lowercase. What I can do, dot tab button, I'm giving it. If you scroll down, there is something called as lower functions, open and close parenthesis. What it is going to returns a copy of the string converted to lower cases. Now what I can do, let me give shift triple tap. See this, it got converted. Now everything got converted. Now I think you got the point. What is this function? Function will be enclosed with, if I'm saying it's a function, it will be enclosed with open and close parenthesis. And also it is going to perform an operation on top of a variable. Now it has performed some operations, right? Now what I'm doing, I'm just looking on to learner 1 here. See this? Learner one, what I've done is nothing but I made it as a capitalized, but still it is not made as a capitalized. Now, if I'm just looking on to learner two, here I'm able to see that leading and trailing white space removed. But if I'm looking onto here, still the white space I'm able to see. Why it is happening here? Anyone? Why it did not got impacted to the original variables? Wonderful, Jagdish and Ibrahim. Because it is not assigned. Great. Just yes, reassign the variable because we did not store it. This operation we are able to do. Okay, this operation will do this, but this operation need to store into some variable, that is so that it can get impacted there. So this operation is equal to, I'm just going into the same variable learner one. Learner one. Now I'm just going to give it to this learner one. Now let me execute this. It got this operation got stored into this learner one. Now if you see learner one, see this, it got impacted. Now learner two, this operation strip function need to be stored into learner two. Shift enter. Now if you see this learner two here, see this, it got impacted. So what I'm doing all this part and I'm just storing into only one line. Learner two. This operation need to be stored into learner three. And this operation need to be stored into control X. I'm doing it. Learner four. Now if you're saying, now let's say learner one, everything, but only mean is getting printed. I wanted to see learner 1, 2, 3, 4, everything. So what do we need to do here? If I wanted to see all the outputs at the same shot, asset list, print function. Wonderful, great. I need to use this print function. Take it within print function. All right, so now I'm able to see this particular part. So this is all about your string methods and functions. Now the task for you all, even yes, Lilavati, we can use it with respect to comma also, but in case if you're using comma, in one line you will be getting it. Since it is 4 different variables, I wanted to keep it separate. Yeah. So now the task, I think you got, so anybody can guess what is the task that I will be giving you now? Can anyone guess it? Right, Ibrahim, great. Wonderful. I think everybody guessed it. So your daily task number 1, get 2 examples for all string methods. Okay. So can we use double at a time for single variable? Double? Can we use double quotes? Not getting a question, Pavani, sorry. You're asking double quotes here? Can we use double at a time for? Pavani, your question is not clear, Pavani, sorry. What is it? Can we use double means what? Yes, we can use that, yes. That we call chain methods. At the same time, we can use 2, 3 functions. Yes, we can use that. You're asking, can I use dot any other function? Yes, we can use it. Let's say capitalize or any other function, you can use it. Galton, how to list names according to alphabetical order? According to alphabetical order itself, list will be taking it, basically. If you say list here, see this, there is a list which I've just taken. Okay, here it is not taking the alphabetical order. In case if you just take it in another variable like this will be called as a tuple. Take it within sets. Yes. See this? This is another dictionary here. So this is going to take the data in an alphabetical order. Okay, but I'm not getting into this square brackets and everything. But basically, we don't play with this. This we call also one-dimensional data. We don't deal with this one-dimensional data in any of your use cases. So mostly we'll be dealing with structured data like this. All right, Calvin, fine. What's the task? Task is nothing but you have to come up with two examples for all the string methods. That's it. That's the task for today. Yes, Manohar, you're right. So these are all the very basics to get into this Python programming part. Sorry, to get into machine learning and everything. Right. So till now, this task is clear. Now, what we can do is nothing but let's take a quick break of maybe 3 minutes, and we can come back and we can continue it. So, how many of you wanted a break, or shall we continue? What do you say? 3 minutes break you want it, or shall I continue it? Okay. Okay. So mixed answer. Break continue. 5 minutes break is not no go with it. So that is in our session we used to give it, but here okay. I think let's continue. Fine. I think break. I'm getting mixed up answers. Maybe we'll go for a quick break, so that should be fine. All right. Mixed up answers. I'm getting it. Let's take a quick break of 3 minutes. Now the time is 8:21. We will resume at 8:24. Let's take a quick break now. Okay. Let's resume that. Fine. Is everybody back from break? Fine. Fine, that's a good question, Govind. So how we can do this task? So it's only for your self-practice, Govind. So if it is a, if it is a 3 months program, I would be definitely looking into your tasks and everything. I can take a look on it. But since it is something 20 days of program, I won't be able to look into your tasks. I can't monitor you. But what you can do, you can just practice it and try to do it. In case, let me help you to do this. So in case if you don't know how to, let's say here you're coming up with this particular part. Let's say your learner one dot, let's say you wanted to use a center. Okay, center, your since it's a function of doing it, returns a centered string with a of length width, something it is written. Now you're not able to understand what it is written over here. Now how to do Google search? Let me help you to understand that particular part, because as a learner's standpoint of view, maybe you might not get this point. So how to do this exploration from the Google? So the point is nothing but you just need to know what is the title for this. All right, so this is nothing but what it is, a Python string methods. All right, so what you can do, just get into Google, just type Python string methods. Okay, you will be getting a lot of materials from W3 Schools, programmers, Cheeks for Greeks. There are a lot of community support you would be having. So there is something called as programmers.com. Basically, I prefer this. Why? Because if I'm clicking on it, so I will be seeing all the functions here: Python, string, capitalize, case, fold, all the function names that will be listed. Let's say if you wanted to use Python string is lower or not, check if all the alphabets in the string are lower. Let me click on this. If I'm clicking on it, I will be getting the scripts also. See this, what exactly this function is going to do, some example, and how exactly this is going to work, is lower, or what exactly is lower will do, and returns value from its lower. There is a basic script which I'm able to have. So I can copy this, I can store it, and then I can come back here. I can just paste it, and I can understand how exactly things are going here. And then if I'm just using Shift Tab, it will be coming in. So I can just take a read here itself directly. It is very good to understand. So here itself, we can just click on some other, scroll down, click on make transition. What exactly this function is going to do, take a read on it and come back, take a look onto it. This is going to, you can see this particular part, what exactly this will do and everything. Okay. So in this way, the point here is nothing but you just need to know the title of what you're searching for. So if that is clear, then you will be getting some links here and there so that you can learn by your own itself. Got my point? Hi, Ishwar. Good evening. Got my point, Govind? Sania, wonderful, great. So now let's continue this. The next chapter, I think we have completed chapter 1. What was how we have to choose between the sprint function, single quotes, double quotes, and triple quotes. And then we discussed about what is the importance of creating a variable. And then we are into the chapter of string and string methods. We discussed what are the different data types with Python: integer, float, and string. And then we have performed some string concatenation, indexing, and slicing we have done. And then string methods we have done. Now the next part is nothing but interact with user input. Let me create this title. Interact with user input 2.4. User input. All right. Right. Now see this. Now what I wanted is nothing but now whenever we can think of it. Now whenever you're opening up your laptop, every time it asks for your password, right? So you have to enter it. Basically you're having a text box kind of thing, or select box or text box kind of thing, where you will be typing your thing and it will be taken it, right? Basically it is trying to take input from you. So that kind of thing I want to create. So in all the programming languages we have this, but in Python, how to take it? It's nothing but there is something called input the function. Since this is the function open and close, I'll try to type this. That is, what is your enter your password. In single quotes, you have to take it. Enter your password. All right, enter your password. Something like this.
it will be popped up, right? So this, if I'm giving it, enter your password. This is what it will be coming here. Now just give shift enter. So nothing has been given over here. So now what I'll do, call it. So now let me give you a small task here. So now if I'm just entering a password, let's say here I'm having maybe Sadik, right? So let me give Sadik at the rate of 1A. So when I'm entering this password, the output should display this. That is, the first letter starts with yes. That should be the output that I'm expecting. I will be giving you 2 minutes time. Okay, 2 minutes time. Whatever you're typing it here, the output, what I wanted to see, if I'm just giving shift enter here, it is displaying me Sadik at the rate of 1A. Okay, but I don't want to see what I've typed it here. I wanted to see an output like this. That is, the first letter starts with yes. That's what I wanted to see. Your time starts now. 2 minutes time. Just think of it. I'm not expecting the perfect answer from everyone, but I just want you to give a try on it. All right, just try it once. And if you're done, post your answers on the chat box. I will be taking a look at it. I think the question is clear. 2 minutes time starts now. I just wanted to see only that first letter. The output, it need to display a message. That is your the first letter starts with, that should be the display message, and uh, whatever you have typed here, the first letter it need to be displayed. That is the question. John, yes, you're right, but I'm expecting the script, John. You can give me the script. You got the point there. Minus, perfect minus. But what about the display message? Once think on it. Mohammed, great. Yes, John, you're right. Perfect. Ishwar, attendance link. Uh, you will be getting the attendance link by 8:30. Ishwar, when it's 8:30, okay. Between another half an hour, you'll be getting it. Okay, now the time is done. All right, now you can let me give the answer. You can just check with your own answers. I think everybody should be having an idea how to do it. Basically, I'll be taking this within one variable. So whenever you're creating a variable, don't go with something like capital A or something like some small a. Don't go with that methodology. Why? Because when we are doing the programming part, we try to keep a meaningful name here. What is a meaningful name? Maybe I'll try to go with user input. Okay, or user input or user password. Maybe I'll try to give user password. This underscore is not something mandatory, but I go with this underscore. Why? Because to separate between two words, I follow this. That's something, that's my preference basically. If you what's your preference, basically accordingly you can go. And also basically most of the times we don't try to create any capital letters as the first letter. So basically we don't try to create it. User password. We don't try to go with the capital letter uh, as the first letter with the scripting part. Basically that's not the, if you're keeping it, that's not wrong, but basically we don't follow that methodology basically. Okay, so now user password. Now what I wanted is nothing but I want to print it. The display message is nothing but, see this, within single quotes, whatever you give, it will get printed. That's what I said. So what I want to print, it's nothing but your first letter starts with, this need to be printed, and then let me give a comma, and then this username, the variable of the 0th index. Now if I'm just giving Pavani, the first letter starts with P. You got my point, everyone? Is it clear? Got it, Abraham. Understandable. Yeah, it's okay. Minus. Great, Jagdish. Yes, yes, that's also fine. Yep. Just Jagdish. Can I get a quick information from everyone? Is this point clear? Yes, this is an output, Leelavati. If you're using print function, that output you won't be getting it. That's the point. Gauri, can we use capital letter in the middle like user? Yes, yes, you can use it to Gauri. Yeah. Capital letters, you can use it in the middle to separate between two words. Govind, don't worry about the attendance link. Attendance link, it will be sent, it will be given to you before 9 o'clock. 8:30 to 9 o'clock, it will be given to you. Not worry about it. Great. So now this is how we will be interacting with the user input. Okay. Enter your password will ask for password. How? Enter your password will ask for password. Not getting a question, Lilavati. Here, this just a display message which I wanted to give it, just to make sure how we can just try. Just an example which I made it. Basically, the point here is nothing but trying to introduce something called as this input function. That's my goal here. For that, I just picked up some example and I'm just delivering it. Hope you get me now. Fine. So this is how I can interact with my user input. All right. So now let's move on to the next part. That is again another exercise. That is I wanted to give this. Use invisible characters. First time I'm hearing that, Deepanjan. Not I don't have much idea about it. Maybe I need to look onto it. Fine. See this. Now let me create the next one. That is 2.5. So the question is, I wanted to give you this a quick exercise. A quick exercise of you wanted to get the. I want you to get two inputs from the user and print it and we can say and display it. Okay, again 2 minutes time you can start working. Reset, start. So I just want you to get two inputs from the user and just display it. Deepanjan, again, that's another thing. We still from here we have to still go for some 3 to 4 lines of script we have to work for. Something we can include it here. Yeah. But again, here my scope is nothing but just to give you something like input. That's what the major point. But to answer a question, yes, we can do that. Just try it once. Get two inputs from the user and display it. Wonderful, Aditi. Aruba, Venus, great. Sunny, Sania, wonderful. And Sania, the major one thing which I can say is whenever you're creating a variable name, try to give a meaningful name. Okay, input one, input two, that's okay. But just think about some good name and try to keep it as a variable name. That should be even more better. Just a kind suggestion there. And even Venus, Prabhu, great. I think you all got this attendance link. You can start filling it. But let's try to focus on the session. Maybe by 8:55 or so, you can do that. Great. I think everybody got this. Wonderful. Let me try to take one example here. Maybe from Mohammed. Let me copy. Mohammed has given this answer. That is name is input. Enter your age, print name. Okay. What is the problem? Input. Yes, Vidya Sagar. 1 minute. What is the problem? Input. Enter your. Why it is a problem here? Input is a function. Enter name. Okay. So this need to get stored in name and then age. Okay. Not sure why it is happening here. Let me remove that. Fine. Age is nothing but let me do this. Name is Muhammad. Age is 21. Okay, now we got this. Now what I wanted is nothing but, so I think everybody using this two print functions and comma operator, but basically there is another thing which we can use it here. That is, let me use this print function. Print, I'm just going with another way of writing this print function. That is, in one print function I wanted to print, that is name hyphen, I'm going to use curly braces. We call it as placeholders. All right, we call this as a placeholders. Name is this, and age is double quotes. Okay. Now, if you're simply printing it, if you're simply printing it, name, whatever you're seeing within this quotes, it will get printed. But this I said is a placeholder. Now, what value you need to get into this placeholder? What you need to do after this quotes, you have to give dot format. Dot format. What should be coming inside this first placeholder? Name. Copy. Let me paste it. Come on. In the second placeholder, what we have to get it? Age. Copy. Paste age. Now, if you see, this name is Mohammed and age is 21. In case if you wanted to take this age to a newer line, what you can do, maybe after this, just you can just give /n. This is nothing but we call this an escape sequences. I think you might have studied about escape sequences. This will take after printing this will take to a new line. See this, I'm not giving a space. Why? Because if you're giving a space, again, there will be a space here. So after this, what I wanted is nothing but after printing it, I will be going to the new line and I'll be printing this age. Let me take this. Yes, Harsh, got it. Harsh. Name and Harsh, that's it. We call this as escape sequences. If you're not aware of this, try to read about escape sequences in Python. Maybe any link, it should be fine. We can see this. You can give a /n, it goes to the new line, /tab button. In this way, you can just explore it. Yes, Manohar, we can also do that here, right? There are a lot of things which we can do with Python, but again, here the major goal is nothing but to take you to AI program. For that, I'm just carefully picking up a few things, few important things which you can focus on to work with respect to AI scripts. That's what my goal here, not to make you as a Python developer. called it. If it is a Python developer, we can get into the depth of Python. We can spend a good point over there. So there is a difference between Python developer and data AI engineer. So as an AI engineer or data scientist, we are going to make use of Python to build some applications and to solve the unsolved problems. So for that, what are all the required portions is something important to focus on. I'm touching that and I'm just getting into this AI part. So there are a lot of other stuff which we can learn from Python. Slowly, you can just this is the starting point. From here, you can do your own research and you can learn it. Hope you got the point what I'm saying. Right. Now, again, another task. Okay, this task, it will be pretty challenging to you all. But again, I just want you to do that. Maybe shall I give it now? Okay, that I will be giving it to you later. Fine, see this. Let me share this agenda. We'll be going for another 10 minutes and then we will be winding up our session today. So this is what we had. So concatenation and indexing we done, manipulated with string inputs we done. So interact with user input, we have done it. Challenge to pick up your user inputs, we done it. How to take the user inputs and everything. Working with strings and numbers, we have already done that, but integer, float and everything. Streamline your print statement is nothing but by using that format, placeholders and format option, how we have to do that, that part also we have done. Find a string in a string is nothing but we are having something called as find function as one of the functions within string methods. Okay, so I'm not going to type it here. I want you to give a try on it. You'll be seeing some one function called as find. You can just explore that. So with that, we had completed chapter 2. Now we are going to get into chapter 3 and we will be winding up our today's session. Okay, even in chapter 3, we have looked onto this integers and float point numbers. We have seen that's something we completed. In chapter 3, I'm just trying to introduce you something called as absolute value. That's it. Only one function, absolute value. And then we will be winding up our today's session. See this, let's go for chapter 3 here. Chapter 3, that is numbers, numbers in Python. Okay. Now what I wanted is nothing but here I wanted to get an input from the user itself. Let's say input. Now I wanted to receive that is enter your marks. Enter your marks. Okay. Now here, let me just store it into something called as user marks. Okay, because user is typing it. Now what I wanted is nothing but basically I wanted to display this print marks is equal to, let me give a comma, and this user marks need to be printed. Okay, let's say if I'm just giving 100, marks is 100. If I'm just giving minus 100, marks will minus 100. But can the mark can go below less than 0? No, it can't go. So what we can do is nothing but whenever we are filling in the informations, by mistake, if I'm giving this minus 100 or the negative values, internally it need to be treated as a positive value itself. All the time it need to be treated as a positive value. Now for that, we are having one function called as absolute value. You might have learned in your mathematics session. Absolute value. Absolute value is nothing but any value within the same negative value, it will be treated as a positive value. Now what I wanted is nothing but here, when I'm just typing it, here I'm just giving a minus 100. But that need to be treated as a positive value. What we can do with? What we can do? Here I'm just going to take absolute function, right? So absolute value, I want to take it. ABS. ABS. See this typecasting, right? So it's not basically typecasting, but you're doing positive number that you are trying to do. So here you're trying to get it, and absolute is a function. So you enclose this user marks here within this absolute function here, take it. But if you're giving it minus 100, it is going to throw you an error stating that bad operand type of ABS string. So what is the problem? Can anyone highlight the problem on the chat box? What is the problem here? Wonderful, Minas and John. It's an ABS works on integer. Input is a string. Great, wonderful. See this, the default data type of integer, sorry, this input is nothing but it is a string. So I can't, when it is a string, I can't take the absolute number because absolutes, everything it works with numbers. Type of user marks, if you see, it is a string. When it is a string, I can't take absolute value, it will never understand. So what we have to do? We have to do with typecasting. Aditi, wonderful, great. I have to take within typecasting. I need to do integer, I have to do this typecasting. Whenever I'm just trying to get the input, I'll take this input and I typecast it into integer. Now if I'm doing it, -100, it is going to take as a positive value. Now, if you check the type of this user mark, it is also integer. Now, why we are doing this? Because we know that the default data type of this input is string. Now, I wanted to perform this absolute value, but absolute value, it will never perform in string. So I have to typecast it and then I have to take it. For that reason, I'm typecasting it and then I'm taking the absolute value. Is this point clear? Wonderful, great. So that's all about this chapter 3. Okay, let me chapter 3. See this? What I've done, I just clicked on the cell and then I clicked on C button, C for copying this cell. Then I clicked on this cell and then I clicked on this V button, V to paste the copied cell here. That's it. Okay. Just see this, C, press C, and then this is my current cell. If you just click on V, whatever you copied, it will be printed below the current cell. That's the point. You converted string to integer and then marks as absolute value. Yes. Maybe you can also, here also you can do ABS. This also you can do it. At one shot, you can do it. Anything is fine. Anything is fine. You can do it here or here. Anything is fine. Right. So now, before we wind up our session, let me give a small introduction about the next chapter. Very important chapter it is. Chapter 4, functions and loops. Write your own functions. Basically, we are having 3 different types of function. Let me give out their names and then we can wind up our session today. Just note it down. Let me give you this. The next chapter is chapter 4, functions and loops. Okay. So what I do, let me make it as a markdown cell. I'm clicking on the cell, typing M button, markdown cell, pasting it. Okay. So let me paste this thing on your chat box. You can copy it. So basically, there are 3 types of functions. One is predefined functions or built-in. We can call this predefined functions or built-in functions. See this, let me make it as bold. So what I do is nothing but here to make this predefined or built-in as bold. I'm just making double asterisks, user-defined function double asterisks, like the way how you send it in your WhatsApp messages. That's it. Double asterisks. Let me end it here with double asterisks. Okay. So we are having 3 types of functions. One is predefined functions. Predefined functions is also called as built-in functions, which will get automatically installed into your local machine when you install your Anaconda Navigator. Basically, function is whenever you're like length, you're using this length function, len function, and you use this print function, input function. These are all the for type function. You used it. So this will be automatically installed in your local machine whenever you install an Anaconda Navigator. The second type of function is nothing but user-defined function. That is user given function according to his own preferences. It's a customized function. Now we can write our own functions. How we can write our own functions? So that is the next chapter for tomorrow. And the third function we call it as anonymous function. Anonymous function, it is a nameless function which is used for accomplishing one operation at once. So the very first chapter that we are going to discuss nothing but how to write your own functions. Okay, let me give this time name here. 3.1, how to write your own functions. All right. So from here, we are going to continue tomorrow. So there are three types of functions: predefined, user-defined, anonymous. And predefined function, now you can just imagine the when we discussed about string and string methods, learner one dot, we have given that upper function. Within that, I told you to mark down the built-in or predefined function. So those functions will come automatically. So that is we call a predefined function. So function, there is a two type, means with whenever we wanted to write this function, first we have to define the function and then we have to call it. So this particular terms, tomorrow we are going to get into it. You don't need to get confused till today, but I just want you to work, see the scripts, whatever we worked on today, and also try to complete your daily given task one, because tomorrow I will be giving another two tasks to complete, and tomorrow's task will definitely take 5 to 6 hours to complete. If you're completing that, again, it is going to benefit you for the next day's learning. Again, if you're just listening to the lecture, it is not at all going to be benefit for you to take it forward. You would be not able to continue the session along with me, because the task is very important. So try to give your complete attention and time and efforts to complete these tasks. So that is what the point here. All right. Recursive function is a repeated function, Sanjana. That's it. Let's read about it. Yes, Harsh, I think you all got it. Fine then. So let me stop it here. So how can we get the notes of the class? So this script, since we worked on call, I'm not going to share this notebook to you in the dashboard, but tomorrow, after the session, I will be sharing this Jupyter Notebook into your day 4 of your learning. Okay, you can find this Jupyter Notebook tomorrow, not today. Okay, so you can get this. It will be uploaded in your dashboard. In case I just want you to, there is a reason why I'm not giving this notebook. I want you to see and type and practice. In case if you just only watch today recordings, again watch it and type it and practice it. I want you to type it and do the practice things from your own. That will definitely help you out at the time. Sir, I have one doubt when we, yes, Amit. So Jagdish's question, sir, I have one doubt when we are changing the cell as markdown or code to type inside the cell. I'm using cursor to select the box. Is there any shortcut to enter into the typing box and start typing without using the mouse? Yes, Jagdish, yesterday we learned it, right? Yesterday I told you this. I think you missed this part. See this is a code cell now, right? So instead of coming here, clicking on markdown cell, I mentioned this part. Click on this H button, shortcut key. You are able to see 1, 2, 3. This is the shortcut keys. So now what I'm doing, I'm just clicking on this. I'm just directly pressing number 1. I'm pressing it. Automatically, I'm getting this hash key. Now here, I'm just typing it chapter 1 and just giving out the names. Shift enter. Now what I'm doing, I need to make sure the cursor is not blinking it, making it outside. Now chapter 1.1, how I'm making it, I'm just pressing number 2 directly. So 2 hashes, I got it, 1.1. I'm just typing it, hello world, something else. That's what I explained yesterday. Got it now? All right. Mohammed sir, where can we get today's recording? Today's recording, it will be there in your dashboard, Mohammed. I think dashboard access, everything has been explained at day 1. If you have not watched it, just go back to day 1 recording, or you can find all these recordings on the YouTube itself. In the ExcelR channel, it should be available for you. All right. Great. So today we looked on to this, we just kickstarted with our Python programming part. We understood how we have to choose between print functions, single quotes, double quotes, and triple quotes, and what is the purpose of creating a variable. We have understood that. And then we understood there are different data types in Python: integer, float, and string. And integer, what is an integer? Float, how exactly it will be look like? We have seen that. And then we got into the string. And within string, we just performed this concatenation, indexing and slicing we performed. We went with the positive indexing and negative indexing we have done. And then we went for this manipulating strings with methods. There we have understood upper function, lower function, strip function. We have looked onto it. And I think I've given you a task 1 to work on it. So the task 1, try to complete it. And then we worked with this interact with user input, where exactly we try to get input from the user and we try to display that same. And then we worked with this some task I've given you to work on, that is trying to get some two inputs from the user and everything. And then how to streamline my print statement by using that placeholder option, we have seen that. And then we discussed about that absolute function, which is going to return you only that positive number. We looked onto it. And then we discussed about this functions and loops. We just started with it, and what are all the different function names, sorry, the different types of functions we have seen, that is predefined functions or built-in functions, and how to write my own customized function, and then anonymous function. Up to that we have discussed, and now the time is 9 o'clock. We are going to wind up today. All right. Thanks, Mohammed. How to read multiple values through a single line? Read multiple values through a single line, Deepan. Just you can just give enter line, you will be getting it. That's it. Yes, Anil, videos are permanent. Sir, I can't able to copy what you have posted in the chat box to copy the, so I selected. So it's okay, Leela, whether you can see and type it out. Basically, I just typed it in the another notebook to cut short the timing. I just copied and pasted it. That you can do. In case if you're not able to copy from this chat box, select it, right click, you should be able to see something called as copy option. That also try to check it out. Fine then, take care everyone. See you all tomorrow, the same timing. Good night.